Welcome, everybody. Today's December 3rd, 2024. I'd like to call the Select Board meeting to order. This will be a roll call meeting, roll call, as we have Veronica.
Veronica Cal, present remotely.
Laura Schifrin, present.
And Teresa A. Morse, present. I ask that we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to just make some local thank yous. I'll start this by saying, as a member of this town for 43 years, I'm sad to announce that I will be leaving the town at the end of the year. So I would like to especially thank a few people before I leave. I want to thank the fire department who 42 years ago came to my house. There was nothing received except for some volunteer took it on himself to go in and grab my wedding album. To him personally, and to all those who volunteered that day and every day, thank you for all you do. To the entire school department who educated all three of my children, with a special thanks to Dr. Mary Waite for all the care she had given them. My children are successful college graduates with their own home, and I thank North Middlesex Regional School District for that. So thank you. To the entire police department, from the advice I constantly received from Chief May in the past, to the officers who stayed with me until my family arrived upon the recent passing of my husband, I say thank you. To all the librarians who gave all three of my children a lifelong love of reading, I say thank you. To the Senior Center Council on Aging, who provides so much for the town, and for their kind words of support upon the passing of my husband, I say thank you. For the Historical Society and the Finance Committee, who work hard to both keep the flavor of this town while also ensuring it advances, thank you. To all who are employed by the town, for their dedication to this town, I say thank you. To all those who volunteer on committees, etc., please know your volunteerism is appreciated, and I say thank you. To all my fellow veterans, thank you for your service. And finally, to the entire towns of Townsend, for all you have done to support me and my family, especially at this time of great loss, I will forever be in your debt. I say thank you.
Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded and uploaded to YouTube. I have no additions and deletions. Does anybody else have anything they need to add? I hear none. I ask that we review and approve the minutes from 11/19.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as we received for November 19th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Veronica Cal, second.
Any additional conversation? Okay, this will be a roll call. All those in favor?
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Teresa A. Morse. Okay, we have 5 minutes to the start of our public hearing. I guess I could have thanked some more people. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to, I'm Cindy King from 1 West Elm Street, there's 2 Cindy Kings here tonight. I just want to take the opportunity, I didn't know that you're leaving at the end of the year, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for your years of service to the town. And I think I first met you hanging out at VFW for Memorial Day parades and different veterans events. So thank you for that. And I think that the town has really benefited from you being a member of the Board of Selectmen. I think because the town has a lot to thank you for.
Well, thank you very much for your
And I
kind
hope that you
words.
don't forget about us down here and keep in touch.
I'll try my best. So we have just a few more minutes, but this will be a public hearing. I do want to announce that the public hearing was announced in the town newspaper. There was a legal notice for the town of Townsend that this is a public hearing. And the purpose of this public hearing is to determine the percentage of local tax levy to be borne by each class of property. Just as we're waiting, to give you just a little background, we have, right now, we do not have a split, we have one class. And Vicki will go into more details on that and how they go about setting that. You gotta wait.
Point of order. This is Veronica Cal. Do we need to open the public hearing? And who is reading the public hearing notice into the
I
record?
am gonna open the public hearing at.
Thank you.
6:10. It's not 6:10 yet.
Then should we move on to something else if there's something that we can cover quickly prior to opening the public hearing?
Everything has a time on it, unless we want. We're so close, I think we can just get you up to the table and then we'll open the meeting.
Want to do 3.1? Okay, it's quick, yeah. Just fill up the time.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
Terry.
I'm gonna move to 3.1, make a motion to appoint Everett Smith to the Water Department from 12/19/2024 until 1/17/2025 as part-time interim.
I so move.
Veronica Cal, second.
Yeah, any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Teresa Marsh, yes.
Can we do 4.1?
Okay, if there's anything else.
No, that's going to take a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're only 2 minutes away, so.
Okay.
Can you come to the table? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I hereby open this public hearing at 6:10. This Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, December 2024 at 6:10 in the Selectmen Chambers, 272 Main Street, Townsend, Massachusetts, for determining the percentage of tax levy to be borne by each class of property for the fiscal year 2025. The hearing is in compliance with Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 56. Alternatively, the public may access the meeting via the Zoom link. And the Zoom link is attached, username is attached, and password is attached. Interested taxpayers may present verbal or written comments prior to and during the hearing. This was signed by the Townsend Board of Selectmen. At that time, the chair was vacant. The chairman was, the vice chair was vacant, and Teresa Amos as clerk signed it. This was read into record November 12th. Okay, you want to?
Okay, so here we are.
Again.
Yet again, to decide what to do about a split rate in Townsend. It doesn't make any sense. Our residential tax base is more than 96% of our, or 93%. I think the commercial, residential, and personal property make up about 7%. So if you were to do a split rate, the commercial would pay an astronomical amount for a very small change in the residential tax rate. So we would suggest that you do a residential factor of 1 so that all the tax classes pay the same rate.
Okay, and you have that percentage that you want us to do at this point?
Well, it's just a residential factor of 1, and then that,
Residential.
yeah.
Okay. Are there, first let's make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second, Veronica Cal.
And all those in favor? Roll call.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Okay, any discussion from the public or anybody out on the Zoom link? Okay, Ms. King?
Yes, Cindy King, I understand how this all works, and I just, I want to speak because I know at least the last, I forget how many town meetings we had this year, but there was a lot of concern about tax rate, taxes, and with the school's budget, I heard some people spoke out about it. I heard other people just chatting in the seats and concerned that businesses aren't paying enough taxes, and if we charge them more, that would have an impact on the schools. And I know that because of what you just said, I understand what you just said, but I know that a lot of people don't understand how that all figures in and how come. I agree completely with the factor of 1, and I agree completely that we don't have enough business revenue, but I'd like to hear it from you or anybody, or more of a conversation from town officials, so that the townspeople that don't get it might get a better sense of that really we won't have an impact on being able to afford the schools any better, as well as the need. I think that the issue of the need to make us more inviting for more people to open a business, and why businesses, even with a factor of 1, they're paying a hell of a lot of taxes to begin with. How can you? Do you understand?
I'll give it a little time.
Okay.
Because I did, before this meeting, I did go down and we worked through all the numbers. And with the fact that we have such a small percentage, less than 5% of the base being from commercial, to just get 90 cents, not even $1. We did the math to just get 90 cents off of a residential tax. We would have to raise more than double the commercial base. So it's the fact that we keep it 1 does entice business to come here. They're not in towns which have significant. So we like to see it entice, and as we bring more businesses in, then it might be a time to relook at that. But at this point, it is a way to entice things, and if we did do it now, there's a potential that it would discourage business, and also we'd save 90 cents. So it's just mathematically doesn't make sense at this point.
Good explanation.
I think one more point, if I may, that I forgot to mention, that I think it's important for the townspeople to understand too, that if we raise Sterilite, using Sterilite as our biggest business, I think, if we raise the rate for Sterilite, they're paying a lot in taxes because their building is worth a lot of money. The property, that their footprint is probably one of the biggest properties in town, if not the biggest, plus the value of a plastics factory, and God knows what other kind of equipment they got back there that has a lot of value. They're paying a huge tax bill. And I think just that they are paying certainly their fair share. Nobody's house, not one of us, even our whole street, isn't paying in taxes what they are.
No, if you look at the top 5 taxpayers in towns and their commercial or utilities.
Right, they're few, I mean, and so they are paying,
Yeah.
they're not paying anywhere near the tax, the low, I mean, we're paying pennies.
Yeah.
Compared to what some of these businesses are, so we would be killing them if we did raise our tax rate. Thank you for letting me talk, guys.
Any further discussion? Okay, that being said then, I entertain a motion to accept a percentage of the local tax levy to a shift factor of 1.
Before we make that motion, Teresa, did we receive any written comments?
I did not see anything in the folder.
Sabrina, no.
We did not.
None came in? Okay. Go ahead with the motion then.
So moved.
Let me say it again. I entertain a motion to accept the percentage of the local tax levy to a shift factor of 1.
So moved.
Second, Veronica Cal, second.
No further discussion. Roll call vote. All those in favor?
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Teresa A. Morse, yes.
On a side note, normally we have the LA 5 here for you guys to sign, but because we don't have a recap that's complete yet, we're gonna have to sign that out of session once we know what the excess levy will be.
And do we need to make a motion to sign it out of session?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
let's make it official
Yeah.
then.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to sign the L5,
LA 5.
LA5 out of session.
So moved.
Veronica Cal, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, roll call.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Teresa A. Morse, yes. Okay, I make a motion to close the public hearing at 6. The 8.
You can look at the computer.
It's not there.
It's not there, okay, I'm sorry.
Show me off. 6:18.
Veronica Cal, second.
Any discussion or showing up? Okay, roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Teresa A. Morse. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
for all you're
guys. Have a good
doing.
night.
Vicky.
Thank you, Vicky.
Yep, thank you.
It's been the same discussion since I've lived here. Every,
It will actually change, I would assume at one
we'd
point.
have to get a lot more business to change it.
Okay, have a few more minutes, so I'm gonna move out of the order.
Sabrina, is Natalie coming in person?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to 4.2. I, would like to know if everybody is okay with the, budget memo to the department heads.
I haven't seen the budget memo.
I didn't either.
I didn't see it in the packet last night.
I only put it on SharePoint earlier today, so.
I didn't see it.
Well, let me read it out into the
Okay,
record.
yes, please.
Okay?
It's in SharePoint now. Hang on one second. I can pull it up on SharePoint. I'd like to do that, or we could screen share it, please.
It's in their packet and it's in SharePoint if you want to take a look at it now.
And it's in 4.2.
Yes.
It's not too much to read.
So I think the only thing, I'll sort of go over sort of the highlights. I mentioned it at the last meeting. I'm asking for a level funded, level service budget. So no new positions being added, no new stipends, no additional increases in expenses beyond sort of what's, contracted, contractually obligated for each department. I think the only thing that we might want to talk about are the due dates. Right now, I have Monday, January 6th as the due date for all the department heads. And then we would have that budget summit on Saturday, March 1st. Veronica, you had mentioned you wanted to do it, earlier in the budget cycle. So I think March 1st is probably as early as it gets. Because then you're into late February and that might not give us enough time to talk about everything.
I am good with this. I would like an addition to this. I think
Okay.
it's critical that from the, so this would be an added bullet for the Board of Health. I would like them to include in their budget the anticipated contract for trash, both for weekly service as well as for first and third, for example, twice a month service with pay as you throw. I
Okay.
want to know what they anticipate because that was what apparently tripped up the town last year. We did not know those numbers and they were not accurate in the budget. And I think it's critical. Otherwise, we don't know whether we can fund trash at all next year.
Does this put them sort of on a timeline to start talking to Shaw then? If we're
Yes. I don't know if they've talked to them yet or not. But I think that we need to request that they include their estimate for different trash plans because that is going to be critical in this year's budget. And without those numbers, it will be very hard for the Board of Selectmen to make a decision on what the budget actually is.
Okay, I'll add that as a bullet then.
Thank you.
So I can do that first thing tomorrow morning, and then I can send out the memo itself along with the spreadsheet that each department head will need to fill out. If that's okay with the select board.
Do you have anything more?
No, I'm okay.
So the only question I had is, we've had, capital planning, committee, it's been following for the last probably 10, 20 years, a process where each year we update the capital plan.
Mm-hmm.
Is this, you specifically mentioned a worksheet and a budget, in a different folder than it's normally seen. Is it, the same capital planning one that we've been using for years and years?
Correct, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe you just put it in a more convenient location.
yeah, it's gonna be a 5-year outlook for
But
departments.
they will have access to what was determined last year in the 5-year access.
Yeah, I can get that to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make sure you
Mhm.
get a copy of
Yeah.
that. Because I don't want them starting from scratch, so we should see.
Yeah, and in theory, they should have it in their records too, but I can just dig through my folders to see where it might be located. So,
Okay.
yep, that wouldn't be a
So
problem.
no vote is needed on this, so we can move on. We just need you to approve, and we do approve the sending of that letter. Okay, we now have a joint meeting with the Housing Authority to reappoint John P. Moran to the Townsend Housing Authority effective 12/3/24 for a 1-year term until the annual town election for 2025. I'm entertain a motion for that appointment effective 12/3.
So moved.
Is this a joint meeting?
There's
Do we
no-
have, we don't have anybody from the Housing Authority here?
No. And there's, well, yeah, you're currently in the position, but need to be reappointed, right? and Natalie's not here, and there isn't anybody else.
Yeah.
We don't have
Yeah.
a state rep either.
Are we required, the state rep isn't the question here is, are we required by charter to do this in a joint meeting? Or can we do it just as a select board without a joint meeting?
Yeah, they can't have a quorum anyway, so I would.
They
think
would not have a quorum, that's true.
No, so I think we can appoint him, and then at least there'll be two of them. Nelson?
Did Adam, have an opinion on that?
Adam
Costa.
reviewed and said that, the remainder of the Townsend Housing Authority, which would be Natalie Call, can vote on an appointment, and therefore it has to be a joint meeting.
But she can vote, but is she required
And
to
that's the
vote?
remainder of the. So she herself can vote on it. But together with the.
Yeah, okay.
But she's not here right now.
Did she request the meeting?
The meeting was posted, yes.
Did she request the meeting to be with the Board of Selectmen for the appointment?
The meeting was posted by the Townsend Housing Authority.
Can you call it? I don't know if I have. Do you have it on your phone?
Can we push this appointment out to later in the meeting and come back to it?
Sure, go with me.
And see if we can get Natalie here?
Because that's a joint meeting, it's not a public hearing, so, yeah, we should be able to do that. Okay, so it's 40 Amanda Dwight.
I'm just reading from the charter, the new charter. A
Yeah.
vacancy on a multiple member body shall be filled at a joint meeting of the select board and of the remaining members of the multiple member body on which the vacancy exists and shall require a simple majority. Notice of the joint meeting shall be posted for not less than 5 days. We've done that. And everything else here looks good, but it is a joint meeting that's required. The select board can't do it just on their own under the new charter. Previously, I believe we could.
Yeah, okay.
So if someone can please notify,
Somebody's trying to get in touch with Natalie.
So
I'm gonna move on to 4.1. I'd like to entertain a motion to create a cable advisory committee, CAC, for Comcast license renewal process as a person of 5 cable advisory committees from 3/7/2023 until contract is set up in 2025, with 1 select board representative, 1 North Middlesex School District representative, 1 Finance Committee representative, 1 TCAM representative, and 1 at-large member with a vacancy to be posted for creation.
so I guess I'm wondering what we are doing here. Are we setting the content of the committee, or are we assigning people to it? Because if I look at the minutes from March 2023, it says the board established a 5-person cable committee from 3/7/2023 until the contract is set up in approximately 2025 with exactly what you just read there. So I guess I'm questioning, why are we at this point just going to notify these boards that they need to appoint a committee? What is required here?
So I think we were trying to cover our bases since this motion was so long ago now. It's sort of, lay fallow for over a year and a half.
Oh, there is no committee.
Yeah, so I think, maybe the vote is to establish the committee tonight and, and then, at a later time, we can, fill the committee with, representatives from this list this 5-member, list.
So we are ratifying the creation of this that was done on 3/7/2023.
Correct.
We're ratifying the creation of the Cable Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
Except apparently it was never created.
Well, nobody ever assigned. For whatever reason, the ball got dropped. This was the month before my term ended previously.
Okay.
And if I read this, it just said the board established a 5-person committee, which is exactly what we would be doing here. I don't know if I don't remember, and I didn't go back to watch this. So I can't tell you whether there was a motion or not, but I fully expected that this committee had been established already.
I don't think it has. I think.
No, nobody has been assigned to it. So this was a ball drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think we just have to ratify the establishment of the committee. And so a motion to ratify the establishment of the committee as indicated. And we need to notify the boards that they need to assign a person to this. And then someone needs to set up a time for this committee to meet. So there needs to be a deadline for this. Because obviously it didn't happen by not giving a deadline previously.
Question?
Mhm.
Just for clarification, so the motion would not be the same because what does it mean from March 7th, 2023 until contract is set up in 2025?
It means that that's the length of time that the committee has to work on, to negotiate, speak among themselves as to what they want in the contract, and then negotiate with Comcast. Because our contract with Comcast, our being the town of Townsend's contract with Comcast, expires in December of 2025. So 1 year from now.
Okay.
And typically it takes 30 to 36 months to negotiate this contract. We received notice originally in September of 2022 because I was on the board and remember receiving it. We didn't do anything with it until March of 2023, which would have given, just over 2 years, 2.5 years to get this done. But maybe Teresa, you can speak to why nobody ever had because you were the only one of us that was on the board during this time period. Did this just get forgotten?
I don't even remember the vote, and I tried to look it up as well, but I don't remember it being voted upon.
I don't know if we ever voted. I didn't watch the meeting, but I know that we discussed and we established the committee, and the minutes say the board established a 5-person committee. So, okay, so what we need to do is ratify the members of the committee, the makeup of the committee, and make sure that the school committee, the finance committee, TCAM, and we have to post, I assume, for these. But we really need to notify the boards that they need to appoint a member.
Yeah, large person, so.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to ratify the Cable Advisory Committee as put into play on 3/7/23 until contract is set up in 2025. 1 select board representative, 1 North Middlesex school representative, 1 finance committee representative, 1 TCAM representative, and 1 at-large member, which vacancies have to be proposed after creation. I also, in the motion, ask that this be established no later than 2/15/2025.
I'll second that. Veronica Cal second, but I would like it to be established no later than, I think 2/15 is too late. That's less than a year to negotiate, to meet and get things going. I would want it established by, holidays are coming up, so January 15th instead of February.
And I'll change the language to establish by January 15th.
I second that.
Okay, any further discussion?
Oh, Veronica, it's actually the end of October, not end of December, so we have actually 2 less months to,
It's October.
Yep, I'm looking at a letter from the state and it says our contract expires October 31st, 2025. So we have 2 less months to work on it.
All right. Well, then maybe we want it. We're not going to, with the holidays coming up, we're not going to get an appointment prior. Some boards won't even be meeting for the rest of this month. So
Dave from TCAM would like to provide some insight into this. Can we have him?
Is he on?
He is. He raised his hand.
His hand is raised.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, I just wanted to point out one thing. The list of the makeup of the board, including the high school, may be outdated. The reason why on previous contract with Comcast, they were included was because the school actually housed the original studio. Once they tore the old building down, built the new one, there are no PEG access facilities or equipment in the school. So it's almost like an unnecessary representative from the high school. The board may want to consider appointing some other board to provide a representative for the negotiations.
Dave, can you tell me though, how involved is TCAM in school activities such as football games and plays and things like that? Would that help with their notifications of that?
Not at this point. TCAM has almost none. We've contacted the school or tried to a couple of times and haven't made much headway. But Pepperell, however, has got a good relationship with the school, and things like the graduation ceremonies or concerts and such, Pepperell provides a crew, records it, or broadcasts live, and we've been able to pick up their feed remotely and rebroadcast it to Townsend.
So Dave, is there a drop in the library or the senior center?
I think that's part of the new contract. The original contract was to have Town Hall, West Townsend Reading Room, Senior Center.
Oh, are you in the building?
Then maybe we should add someone from maybe from each, from the Council on Aging and the library trustees. What do you guys think?
At minimum of library trustees, my concern is if we make it too broad, it might be hard to get it established, and we have to have this done by the end of October.
All right, then I would suggest modifying the motion to replace the school district representative with a Board of Library Trustees representative.
Okay. So I'm going to reread this one more time because it's a couple of things. So I'll entertain a motion to ratify or create now. We are creating a cable advisory committee for a Comcast license as a 5-person Cable Advisory Committee until contract is set up October 31st, 2025, with one select board representative, one library of trustees representative, one finance committee representative, one TCAM representative, and one at-large member. This committee is to be established no later than 1/15/2025.
Second. Or so moved.
Veronica Cal second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote,
Laura Schifrin and I.
Veronica Cal I.
and Teresa A. Moss, aye. Okay, moving on. We have a joint meeting with the Amanda D. White Entertainment Fund. Are they here? Please come join us at the table. Do you have a quorum?
Susan Griffin was on her way. She was at a Lions Committee meeting, and this is our potential new member.
Hi, Lynn LeBlanc.
So you said somebody's coming on?
Right, well, there's only two of us left, so you have one out of the two.
Okay.
And I think by charter, that's okay.
Okay,
A majority of the remaining members. So,
so do you want to open your meeting yourself so that we have established it as a joint meeting?
Sure. We'll open at 6:42, Amanda Dwight Entertainment Fund meeting.
Okay. So, well, thank you for coming. I'd like to entertain a motion that will be voted on by both the Amanda Fund and the Board of Selectmen to appoint Lynn LeBlanc to the Amanda D. Dwight Entertainment Fund effective 12/3/2024 for a one-year term until annual town elections for 2025.
So moved.
So I second that.
Veronica Cal second.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, I saw you paid for it, it's all in order.
Thank you.
So roll call vote,
Laura Schifrin and I.
Erin Clementine.
Veronica Cal I.
and Teresa A. Moore, welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm
sure
on
you
it.
get-
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
it's good to get back involved
Thank you
with
for
the
your
town.
service.
Do we need to close the joint meetings? Sorry to be a stickler.
Sorry, I was just ready to leave. 6:43 PM, meeting adjourned.
Oh, but Susan's here just in time.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Another meeting. Zooming around.
Oh, good, Lynn.
Good. All right. Happy holidays, everybody.
You
too. too.
Celebrate.
Did we ever get in touch with Natalie?
Yeah, she's on her way.
On our way.
She's on the road.
Can we do the Lions Club, or do you want to move down to 4.3? The Lions Club is that's advertised at 7. Is there like a public comment period for that, or?
Yeah, but then we want to,
No.
Yeah, that's not too far away. Do something else.
Yeah, we'll do a 4.3.
Building department fee schedule.
okay, moving on to 4.3. This was in the package. So I entertain a motion to approve the building department fee schedule that will go into effect January 1st, 2025. Veronica, you're on mute.
I am. Am I seconding Veronica Cal second?
I didn't first, but I'm gonna go with the recommendation. I'll still move.
Okay. Any discussion?
Everything's going up.
Yes, it is. That is ways to get a little more funding in our town, so. Only a little bit. Okay,
So I second and we discuss.
we discussed, okay, roll call vote,
Laura Schiffer and I.
Veronica Cal, I.
and Teresa A. Moore. Aye. 4.3. Okay, going back, hi, welcome.
Sorry.
We know you're not a full committee, but we do have to make this by the town charter, a joint meeting with the Townsend Housing Authority. So basically, you're gonna open the meeting, where you're gonna discuss, you're gonna vote, and you're gonna close the meeting, even though you're a person of one and don't have a.
Do that one again.
So, why don't you open your meeting?
Okay, open a meeting.
6:45.
6:45.
Okay, this is a joint meeting of the Townsend Housing Authority to reappoint John B. Warren to the Townsend Housing Authority effective today, 12/3/2024, for a one-year term until the annual town meeting for 28/25.
So moved.
Veronica Cal, second.
Okay, Adeline, any discussion? Okay.
Thank you.
This will be a roll call vote, and it will include a vote from the majority of the TAJ.
Yes.
Laura Schiffer and I.
Veronica Cal, I.
And Teresa and Marcia. Welcome aboard. Don't be easy.
Yay.
Now you need to close your meeting.
Oh, you're right. Close the meeting, Townsend Housing Authority at,
6:46.
okay, 6:40.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for all you do.
Sorry, I was helping a veteran tonight. So,
Okay,
thank
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got to be a W to do some things. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
See you.
Okay. Oh. I did want to talk, 4.4. The liaison assignments. So when we discussed these, last time, the, liaison assignment wasn't up to date. So we haven't updated the list, and we also, have added to an MJTC appointment and MRPC, representative. So, those have been updated on the list. This doesn't require a roll call vote. The appointments are by the discretion of the selectmen, but we'll leave them as they are. Any discussion?
Well, Laura, since it's going to be you and me, at least until April, you are on MRPC, correct?
I chair it.
Yeah, so I will take MJTC. I was the planning board rep and then the select board rep on that committee prior, so I don't mind doing that.
Okay, I think that's better. That, these two have to be reversed,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Madam Chair, I spoke to MRPC.
Yeah.
You are seated as at the MRPC. They need an alternate for you. It has to be Selectboard, and that's why we want to come.
You'd be the alternate.
Alternate chair.
So we have Veronica right now as the alternate for MRPC.
No, I will not be the alternate for MRPC. My understanding was that planning board appoints one person to each of these. Those are the primaries. The select board appoints the alternates to each of those. Does someone think it's different than that? Because that's the way it was before. In other words, I was not, as the select board rep for MJTC, I was not a voting member. The primary is the voting member, and that is the planning board rep. So we might need to check on that.
The primary for MRPC, and will, which is not a liaison assignment. that is an appointed board member. You're stating,
Madam Chair, I think the confusion is there that Laura can't hold both the select board rep position
And planning.
and the planning board position. But they need an alternate in case she can't.
So, just to, it was Beth Faxon was actually, the rep from planning to MJTC.
Yes, she is to MJTC for planning. And I'm
Yeah.
willing to do MJTC for select board. I'm not willing to do MRPC for select board. So I guess the question becomes, can we assign someone who is not a select board member? Or we will just have an open alternate position? Because I won't do both.
I thought you, okay. But the alternate position is assigned, right, by the chair? But you're saying you're not able to do it?
I am not doing both MJTC and MRPC is what I am saying. It's too much.
Okay, so
Ask me.
I gotta, just in ways to get us through to the new year, why don't I take over the entire public safety, which is the alternative position, alternate position,
What are you
And-
talking about?
the liaison assignments.
I am remaining as the public safety liaison. We are talking about MJTC and MRPC, which are separate from public safety.
4.4 is assigned liaison assignments. And I'm saying,
For MJTC and the alternate MRPC.
Correct. We're not talking about public safety.
okay,
So I don't know where that came in.
because we are talking about liaison assignments, which is my responsibility as a chair. We had it set tonight that we were going to assign you the alternate position. That was now added, if you look at your package, in the liaison assignment under public safety. I'm saying the easiest thing until the board is redone is that you move to general government and I move to public safety.
I'm not doing that, period. We voted them last time, Teresa, and I'm not doing that. When I read this, it says,
They're signed by the chair.
it says MJTC and alternate MRPC. It does not say general liaison assignments.
It says assigned liaison assignments. Is this-
Until 6/30/2025, MJTC alternate MRPC.
Okay, so,
So you're reading into it.
no, I'm not, Veronica. You are refusing to fill the position under public safety, which we replaced for this minute under public safety.
Where does it say public safety on the agenda?
If you look, it says on the handout for liaison assignments for 2020-25, we have MRPC alternate, Holly Ford, under public safety.
No, it's under elected boards and commissions and officials.
No, that's the primary. You're saying you won't do the alternate.
I'm doing MJTC. Where are you looking, Teresa? Because I don't see it under public safety at all. I see it under elected boards, commissions, and officials.
So currently, MJTC is under elected boards. MRPC is under elected board. And MRPC alternate is under public safety.
Where? I don't see that. Am I looking at the wrong list?
It's in,
There are two lists, and I think you need to look at the, there are two lists in the folder. and one is updated, 12/3/24.
So the public safety one has the MRPC alternate under public safety.
All right, I'll do it because I'm
Yeah.
not giving up public safety, and you're not going to be here after the end of December anyway, Teresa. So I'll do it. There's probably no meeting between now and the end of December anyway.
There is one, December 17th, yes?
I just wanted to clarify, Veronica, the alternate is really only.
Who's speaking? Could someone identify themselves?
Sabrina Moore.
Who is speaking?
Sabrina.
Moore.
Okay,
The alternate is only for when Laurie cannot attend the meeting.
You won't have to worry about it.
You won't have to attend the meeting unless Laurie can't attend.
Our meeting is this Thursday and there isn't one until next
That's
year.
the alternate
after.
provision. They only want someone in place in case she can't come.
okay,
You don't
that's
have to worry
fine.
about
Okay. While we're on the topic, since I'm not gonna be here much longer, do you guys just wanna wait till December or to January to reassign general government?
Yes,
Okay. And let's move on. We're almost at 7. Okay, 4.5. There's a correction for a license renewal vote from 11/19/2024 due to a typographical error of the year 2024, with the year needing to be 2024. So in the select board meeting on 11/19, the board incorrectly voted for the annual license renewal year of 2024 due to a typo. The correct year of the annual license renewal was 2025. The board therefore corrects the following. I entertain a motion to correct the vote made in the select board meeting 11/19/2024 as follows. Vote to approve and sign out of session all 2025 license renewals for entertainment license, common, I can't say this word, liquor license, class 1, 2, 3 licenses, and retail licenses, alcohol, contingent upon receipt of required documentation and payment. This vote will be effective 11/19/2024.
So moved. And that's the correct date,
Yes.
effective 2024. I so moved.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, here no discussion, it's a roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Teresa Amos, aye.
Do we, okay. 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. We have one last. I don't believe anybody's coming, so we can go, even though it's like 7 o'clock, I think we're close enough. We review, I entertain a motion to approve the license application for the Lions Club for selling Christmas trees on the common from 11/24/24 to 12/24/24.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
I'm good with the trees.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
And Teresa Amos, yes. And Shirley Evans. Okay, moving on.
Did we do 3.1?
Yes.
Oh, we did. Okay, here it in my mind.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve opera project fund reallocation request as read. I entertain a motion to approve the opera project number 26 for the two Xerox copiers in the amount of 13,940 out of Opera One. So moved, Lori?
Can I just look at this a minute? Like I said, I didn't see anything in the portal today.
Yeah, I dropped it in a little bit late, so, could I sort of start
Well, can we
talking?
move the question first and then discuss it?
Well, are we talking about one at a time?
It's more of, we will dive into specific ones, but, I will certainly open the discussion, like, as a whole, you know, what the ARPA, projects look like. And then we can dive into each one a little bit deeper, if needed.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
just a quick question. Did we do 4.3 for the building?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that was nothing to do. Thank you.
yeah, we did.
Anybody want to move the question so we can start discussion?
I'll move the question for discussion.
I just want to say that from now on, everything needs to be in the packets 48 hours prior, because I reviewed everything yesterday to prepare for this meeting. And I don't know that I'm comfortable discussing these without having had a chance to review them. So I'm okay with them being screen shared and brought up, but I haven't seen them. And I do my homework
Yeah.
and look at things prior to the meetings. So,
Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion that we delay this discussion till December 17th meeting.
Let me think about that for a second.
What's the deadline?
It's the end of the month, but there are, a few things that, I needed to discuss with you guys, that,
Well, I made the motion for discussion.
okay.
It
So,
wasn't seconded, I'll second, go ahead.
Okay. So there are a couple of things. NM Cares, as you know, North Middlesex Cares, they're a nonprofit organization here.
Yeah.
We need to sort of, get that contract in place by the end of the month so that, we are adhering to all the ARPA guidelines. I do have a,
where is that on here? Where does,
it would be ARPA project number 3.
can we screen share what we're talking about? Because I printed and brought with me the ARPA things that were in the file yesterday. I did not see these ARPA things today, and I'm saying this because I want to discuss ARPA funds are there ARPA funds for the fire department, for the equipment on the new fire trucks that are coming in this summer?
I don't think according to my analysis, there's not going to be any money for that, type of,
well, there should be.
Then if there isn't, we should expect that we are not going to get the revenue that we typically get from the ambulance receipts, because they will need those funds to outfit the fire trucks. Consequently, it would be better to use one-time funds from ARPA if they are available. So I really wanted to spend some time looking at this, and I didn't see anything to analyze prior to right now. And so I am going to request that we set up a meeting for next week sometime as a board, so that we have time to review this and discuss it with you, Nelson, prior to voting in a meeting, because right now I am a no without time to review. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry that I didn't put it
I would
on.
like you to put them up and we can see what you have there, and I want to know how much funds are left.
Right.
Can you bring that up on your computer?
Yeah, I got sidetracked. Let me sign on right now. Unless,
I mean, this is really important. It's way more important than a lot of other stuff.
no,
that we've done.
and I knew there was gonna be a hot topic item, or at least one that would garner a lot more discussion than,
Rightly so.
yeah. Let me just log on. Join.
I can do next week. If you wanted to meet Tuesday night.
I can't meet Tuesday night. I'll be flying in. I arrive in Boston at 4:20 on Tuesday.
Can you give us dates that you can?
I can do Wednesday, the 11th, Thursday, the 12th.
Okay, I can do either one of those.
Okay.
I have planning Monday, but other than that, I can do Wednesday or Thursday at 6. Can you do either one?
It have to be Thursday, I can't do Wednesday, I can do Tuesday, but I can't do Tuesday, it'll have to be Thursday.
Okay, so the 12th, Thursday?
And that would just be, at this point, like I said, I don't.
We could just do it for this, a work session
But
for
there's
this.
one-
A work session for ARPA, yeah.
To me, it just doesn't do it, we're 3 days away from the 17th, why wouldn't do it at our meeting? And, we do have people I know who came here specifically for the ARPA discussion. So
Oh, well, yeah, we can still discuss.
that's what I'm saying, do it during the 17th, but.
Well,
Okay, let's
we're here.
discuss what's going on.
Yeah,
first, and then
let's have a discussion and see
decide.
if we can resolve anything.
Yeah, so, as I mentioned, NM Cares, we've
Can you
already.
screen share, please? Pull up what we're looking at so that we can all see it.
Yes,
Is that the wellness programming?
correct.
And you know what? This is new to me.
The ARPA
So,
stuff? Correct,
Yes, so I apologize. So I'm not sure what I'm looking at when it tells me allocated.
So allocated, that was the budget amount that was voted by the Board of Selectmen, when the ARPA funding, first came about, and Veronica was on the board at the time, and they voted to not only do that project, but this was the budget, the budget amount that was allocated to it.
Okay, so I'm asking for an explanation of the disbursements or the receipts. Fiscal year 2022, $4,132. Fiscal year 23,
Yeah.
$104,985. Is that come out of the 462 allocated
Correct.
each year?
Well, so that's how much was spent in those fiscal years. It's not evenly split because maybe we started later in the year and certain expenses, didn't, it's not like a even split, but that's just the breakout of how much was spent in each fiscal year for that particular project. So this is just a breakdown of the spending.
What's the breakdown of the allocations? So in other words, $2,834,304, $834,314 was the total allocated from ARPA or allocated in a budget?
No, this the 2.8 million, that is the total ARPA allocation that was, this is what was this is the number that was provided to Townsend by the government. That's the
Okay.
total amount.
So,
And this
take,
is,
for example, opera number 8, and that's how we always talk about it. Opera number 8, we decided to get a walk-in refrigerator for TEO. Out of the 2 million, we decided to allocate 12,000.
Who was
for
we?
that. It was
the
under,
select board.
it was under, I wasn't on the select board at the
Okay.
time,
Okay,
but it was under the select board at the time.
given in 2025, to be given in 2025.
Right.
Correct.
Okay,
So it's broken down by fiscal year, and then, you know, there's a column for what's remaining in 25, because, you know, we're still, well, you know, still have half the year left. And then in 26 and 27 as well.
So if you could go by the remaining categories, that's how we're looking to get that purchase, get that invoice for that, because we haven't completed it. If you look and see in the final column, you can see what's still available.
So NM Cares is one of the few vendors that we actually need a contract with, because the way the ARPA funding deadline works is you either have to spend everything by December 31st of this year, or or you get it, the service or goods under a contract, and then that gives you until December 31st, 2026 to use it all. And NM Cares is under ARPA number 3, and they'll need to be under contract. And I do have a draft contract in the SharePoint folder. You know, we can certainly review it, and then at the working session, sort of, you know, make a vote to, you know, sign the contract. The TEO is another one that we need to have a contract in place, because they are an outside entity. So in order to provide them with any money, we need a sub-recipient agreement, which they did send to me, but we also need a contract in place as well, so that we can provide them with the money. And then everything else is within the town itself. It could be wages for the HR manager, which is ARPA 1. We have the wellness coordinator, which is ARPA 2. And then a whole slew of projects that we can certainly talk about and discuss.
what is the amount that we have to spend before the end of the year?
According to my spreadsheet, you know, if everything sort of stays the same, you know, we're not changing anything. It's just over $106,000.
That's all that's left.
Yeah, that's sort of unspoken for at the moment.
And if that's the case, Nelson, where is that 106,000 going? If everything else is spoken for except that 106,000, where?
That's what I want. Yeah.
Can you bring up this page?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's what,
Veronica, can you see the screen right now?
I can see what's shared, yes.
So one thing that we desperately need, and I think we should use ARPA funding for, is the 2 printer copiers here at Town Hall, the one right outside the Selectmen chamber, and the printer copier in the mailroom.
Are those allowable expenses? Have you checked with CSS? And they said that's allowable.
Correct.
Okay, so do we have free cash? Do we know what our free cash is? Would it make sense to use free cash for that?
I mean, I suppose we could, but given the sort of the exercise I'm going through right now to figure out a way to spend the rest of the ARPA money, I feel like it's money well spent for two machines that are 10 years old. We've been told by the maintenance folks that they don't even make parts for them anymore. So if it goes down, I don't know what we would do. These both machines are heavily used by everyone here at Town Hall.
How
And
much are you asking for on that?
it is just under $14,000, $13,940 for
That would come from ARPA one.
For each or for one?
for both.
Okay, because you don't have a number here. You have
I
two
don't.
copiers.
Again, it's all on the,
In
So-
the package, yeah, in the packet, I did get a quote from Conway, the current company that services those machines.
I think that replacing those machines is a legitimate expense. I'm just questioning whether it's wiser to talk to the fire department and get the equipment that's needed for the two new trucks under contract and use ARPA funds for that, and then take the 14,000 from free cash to replace the machines that need replaced. I don't at all doubt that they need to be replaced.
Right.
But
We could, but there is something that popped up that is going to be a bigger ask, and I'm literally out of the 106,000, I'm requesting 87,000, which I'll explain what we found out. Last Wednesday, the town accountant was doing the tax recap, which is something that is done every year. You have to submit a big form to the state.
Yes.
And after entering in everything, the town accountant, along with the assistant town accountant, the very end of that, online portal said we were over the tax levy. And Vicky, along with the town accountant, says that's a no-no. We spoke to DOR. You can't do that. So you either have to be at zero or under the tax levy. So what that really means is we need to find some influx of funds to balance out this tax levy. And we have no idea, we haven't been able to pinpoint exactly where it came from, but we were thinking maybe it had something to do with a town meeting. There was multiple votes. There was one vote to transfer $700,000 to ambulance receipts, but then at the May town meeting, there was another article to transfer another 100,000. And then in the August town meeting, special town meeting, there was another $100,000. One of those transfers didn't somehow make it into the budget process, if you will. So that sort of then resulted in a number that's above the allowable tax levy.
can't we confirm what came from ambulance receipts into the general fund?
Correct. Yep.
Can we confirm when transfers were made?
The ambulance receipts for $100,000 at the special town meeting, that was confirmed to be part of this exercise.
So that was in May.
Well, we think that article in May somehow didn't make it into our numbers. We're still trying to figure out how we got, above the tax levy. But that's sort of our best guess at the moment. And, we have a couple options of plugging it. We can use ARPA money, we can use free cash, or we can use stabilization. The problem with using free cash or stabilization, you need to go to a town meeting to do that. And I need to do all this by basically the end of this month. Otherwise, there'll be.
You don't have free cash certified.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute, but so free cash and stabilization, you need to go to a town meeting.
And vote.
Yeah, and you need to post it for 14 days. So you're really pushing it into mid-December. You post within 14 days. You can only hope you get a quorum at this meeting. Let's just say you cross that hurdle. And then people will vote it down. Now you basically have, 2 weeks have gone by and you don't have the outcome that you want. Now you're scrambling to figure out what to do. And you still have this, roughly $87,000 hole to plug, in the tax recap submittal. And more importantly, if this tax recap doesn't go through, the tax rate can't be set, which means the tax bills, the real estate
Can't
tax
go
bills
out.
can't go out. So by law, the tax bill needs to go out on January 1st so that it's due on February 1st. If that bill goes any later than January 1st, you can't, the earliest you can, by statute, collect money is May 1st. So that means you're missing an entire quarter of cash flow that you normally would get. So, so having that special town meeting, if things don't get passed, it delays the tax rate, the tax bills going out, and the town could literally we could literally run out of cash. We don't have enough cash to pay employees or vendors or the school department because tax bills don't go out on time. So so unfortunately, it's really critical we plug this this deficit. And
How can we be sure that that's the deficit?
um,
You don't know where it came from or how it happened.
Right. And what fiscal year are we talking about? Are we talking about fiscal year 25 or are we talking about fiscal year 24?
we're talking
Because
about
we're talking about 25.
yeah, the current school year. Because we have to pay them each quarter, and that between the two schools, that is about a $4 million.
Wait, how did we get on schools? I was just wondering.
Well, because of cash flow issues. If the worst case scenario happens and the tax bills don't go out on time, we're not going to have enough revenue to pay for everything, including those big quarterly school assessment bills. So we double checked, the town accountant checked everything, and we are about as certain as we can be, given everything, that it's about an $87,000 deficit that we need to plug.
Who looked through and made sure there were no key data entry errors?
It was Markham and the assistant town accountant. They've been working since last Wednesday when this popped up when they were doing the tax recap. And we also got on the phone with DOR, Department of Revenue, with our rep, Bobby Joe. And, she's in agreement that, that is the deficit at the moment.
And Capital Strategic Solutions, did you run this by them for allowable use of ARPA funds?
Well, what's allowable with ARPA funds is you can use it to pay a wide range of things. You can pay for like salaries.
Did you check it with CSS? Did you talk?
Not for this specifically, but I had spoken to them that, what is allowable, leftover money. So we could, use whatever hasn't been allocated towards general fund expenses. And that is allowable through ARPA. And then that would also plug, the gap, so to speak.
Because prior, and I know that the rules have changed annually, but prior to this, you could not use it for budget of underages or whatever. Maybe the rules have changed now. So you would definitely want to run this by CSS. They're the ones that do the reporting for this. Is not to the state, it's to the Treasury Department, federal government, and they are the ones that do the reporting for the town.
Right.
And I would want to be assured that the reporting that's done for the town is accurate.
Right. I can certainly triple check with them, but last I had spoken to them about this exercise, what we can do with the leftover ARPA money. We can put it towards a wide range of expenses, ranging from salaries to the electricity bill to, any number of things. So
you have a list of 7 projects. The most critical is number 6, which is this reallocation of 75,000 from ARPA 1, ARPA 3, ARPA 4, ARPA 5, ARPA 11, 13, 18.1, and 23. Which is going to be ARPA 27. Can we, and I'll read through the amounts and everything, can we at least try to get this done tonight, contingent on that it's fun, the reallocation to ARPA 27, which I assume is a new fund, correct?
yes, it is a new number that I sort of penciled in
by the treasurer.
The person who determines the ARPA numbers is CSS. That's who gave us the 01, 02, 03, all the way up to 20, whatever.
Can we run this? Can we approve this tonight contingent on their assigning a number and approving the amount, 87,000?
I would like to take some time and go through all these. All I'm seeing are ARPA numbers, and I don't have memorized which is which. I need time to look at this and review it and know the why. I would certainly want Jennifer at CSS to be consulted on this and to make sure that all of these are right. There are also selectmen's policies. So there are forms that need to be filled out for allocations and reallocations for every single one of these. Those are our policies.
Can you see if she can be available at our next meeting? We decided that we're going to try to do a work session, see if she can be available.
I can try. I can also
She has been very, she can zoom in. And she has been pretty much available 2 to those. If we are gonna move this to later. I'd like to make it, not an evening meeting, but making it in the day, make it easier for her to be available. So,
Okay, yeah, that should be fine, but I do want to reiterate how, critical
I
that this,
do.
this
So-
gap is filled, because, it's gonna set off a whole bunch of, events that, would,
Veronica, can you do Tuesday during the daytime?
Can I do what?
Tuesday during the
I think
daytime.
she's traveling.
I am traveling
When are you back available again?
the 12th, evening of the 12th, or any time during the 12th, but there are interviews set up now on that day. And I haven't written them in my calendar yet. Also the night of the 11th. I'm sorry. Yeah, the night of the 11th, the night of the 12th, or during the day on the 12th, when there's not an interview planned.
Okay, can you get those times to Nelson? I'd like to have it during the day, because I'd like to have CSF present
I'm
for that
looking,
meeting.
I'm looking at the interview schedule, so we could probably do like the first interview starts at 1, so maybe we can do like a late morning.
On which day? The
On the
12th? Yeah,
So
that would be
11 o'clock
fine.
on the 12th.
Okay.
Okay, so,
There is some more I need to talk about. So, yeah, so we got DOR on the phone, to sort of discuss what's going on. And they, rightfully so, saw that we have a new, revenue source, the pay-as-you-throw back program. And, DOR, when they see new, revenue sources like that, they sort of, examine it a little bit further. And, they're still looking at the numbers I provided them for, bag revenue that we received, from the Waste Zero Bag program. But, there is a distinct possibility that if they look at those revenue that we received and they don't sort of like the direction we're heading in, they could say, the 550,000 that you were, that you've, put on your projections, might not hold, and they're at that point are going to come back to us and ask us to plug that gap as well. And that's when we may, have to dig deeper into the ARPA stuff. And the only thing I can think of in ARPA to really sort of, siphon, funds off of are the wages for the HR manager and wellness coordinator. You can see in FY 27, there's some money budgeted that's about 40,000, just under 40,000. And then it's a lot more in FY 26. And, if DOR comes back to us saying, we think you're going to be $100,000 short, you need to come up with the difference. I can't think of any other way of, doing it, besides, tapping into those out years. Certainly FY 27, because that's 2 years out. So I'm trying to worry about right now versus 2 years out. But it may very well bleed into 26. That's obviously a problem with the FY 26 budget coming up. But again, I'm just trying to get through 25. So that is a very distinct possibility that DOR, when they look at the revenue figures that, I've provided them, they'll come back and, make us, plug that deficit that they sort of expect us to, to realize by the end of the fiscal year.
Understood.
So, so those are, the 87,000, that is a right now problem. But DOR can, in the coming days, come back with us, saying, we don't think your projections are gonna work. You're gonna need to find, some other way to come up with the money to balance the budget.
Okay. I make a motion that we take no action at 5.0 on ARPA project funding and move the discussion to set December 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m.
So moved.
Veronica Cal second.
All those in favor, roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Winter Seymour, aye.
Um,
Okay,
I have a request then from Nelson that we have all the information we need by Tuesday so that there's time to review this prior to our meeting. In other words, I would want it 48 hours before. So the 10th at 11 a.m., everything. I want to know everything from DOR. I want to know everything from the accountants. And I want to know what was transferred by ambulance receipts from the fire chief.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
You had said that you had 1 o'clock on the 12th, but the text I have says 2.
There's another interview that's not the land use coordinator. It's the conservation agent. That's at
Oh,
one.
that's what she's doing.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, yep.
I'm not doing that.
No, not at the moment, no.
I'm doing
The
2 o'clock.
yeah, the 2 o'clock, which is the land use coordinator interview.
okay, 5.1, I entertain a motion to approve the public health excellence grant. As in the package, this is a grant program, initiative by the Department of Public Health aimed at enhancing capacity of local public health systems utilizing state funding and regional shared services.
Awesome.
What is that? I missed that totally.
Excellence grant. Is it totally spelled out somewhere? But we're getting a grant.
We well, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
It's working with the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health. So there's a grant opportunity that we can be part of. So the Board of Health sort of gives their blessing, and then someone from the select board. Well, actually, I think they asked me to sign off on it. So I guess just looking for you guys to review it and give me the authority to sign on behalf of the town for this public health grant.
Okay, and that goes to our grant writer, and they'll have all the information.
Excuse me?
To the grant writer.
Actually, the Neshoba Board of Health is sort of running everything for this, so they just need our blessing.
Sign on.
Yeah, and then they'll submit everything on our behalf, since we're part of
Yeah, I'm good.
that board.
Good with participating. I think it's a good
Roll call
idea.
vote.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Okay, moving on to town minister updates and reports.
Okay. So you guys are probably familiar with the Squanicook River Rail Trail. That project has been ongoing. We got a grant from Mass Trails, for a portion of the project, but the bids, the construction bids have come in, twice what, the grant money, we received is for. And we're hoping to, get some ARPA funding as well as, another grant from the state. So unfortunately, we did not get, the state grant to assist with the budget of this project. But Erin, our grants coordinator, was able to talk to her contact over at the state from the Mass Trails grant folks, and they generously agreed to increase what they originally had given us through a grant. So they are looking to give us an additional $55,000 to help us to actually finish this project. So, so there's an amendment that they're looking for me to sign. That way, once that's all set, we can contract with the with the low bidder to get this project up and running. And it is using some ARPA money as well, which has been approved and discussed in previous selectmen meetings. So I'm just sort of
That
looking for your blessing.
That ARPA money was part of the match for the Mass Trails grant, the original 130 that we received. I want to also, yes, I think I'll make a motion that we have the town administrator sign for the additional funds from Mass Trails for the purpose of the Squanicook River Rail Trail Connectivity Project. This is actually the sidewalk from the church to the other side of the harbor. Across that.
Okay. Any further discussion?
The only further discussion I would make is that recently, it's either MJTC or MRPC came out with, there's an email just within the past 2 days that there is shared streets and spaces funding available. And it needs to be signed on to by, I forget the date, it's either late December or early January. So it's possible that we could, it's for sidewalks, et cetera, those sorts of things. I can forward you the email, but I'm guessing that every one of us got it. There is another source of funds for this sidewalk. And the reason that the bid was higher than what we originally asked on that grant is because Mass DOT came back, and originally we were just doing one ADA crossing from the one side of the harbor to the other side. We have to do all 4 corners now. And that wasn't part of the plan for the original grant application. So that's why the increase. And each one of those rapidly flashing, crossings is about $54,000. So if you add 3 to it, that doubles the amount of money that we had originally, because we were only looking at one of those. So, all right. That's all I have to say.
Okay, roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin and I.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Truth Lady North, aye.
The only other thing I had was, there might be a snowstorm Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And the only reason I bring it up is because, I think in the past, we sort of have mirrored what the school department has done, or we have some sort of 2-hour delay coming in the town hall, and then depending on how bad conditions are, we may turn that 2-hour delay into just town hall being closed altogether for that day. So maybe I'm not looking for an actual vote, so to
I
speak.
think we already discussed this, with Fairwell. that we would follow the school department.
Yeah, I just want to bring it up, because, there was apparently a winter storm warning, late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's supposed to end like Thursday morning, but
It just makes it easier for everybody if we just stay online. If the school's in, we're at work. If the school's delayed, you're delayed.
yeah, so I just wanted to bring it up, in case, something does, delay or cancel school and.
It does say 90% chance of
So we'll
whatever
just
on
follow the
Thursday.
school.
Yeah.
I am in favor of following the school schedule. Whatever the schools do, town hall does. I am not in favor of saying, well, if there's a 2-hour delays in school, we're closing town hall.
Right, yep.
Okay, moving on to the reports from the general government. I'll start with, general government, just as a couple of things. We probably saw them here tonight, the Mandy to do, White Entertainment. They, were short members. They have a new member coming on board. The, Energy Commission, Ron is still looking for numbers to make sure we can keep our green community. You have to prove that every single year
Mhm.
that you've had things. We're really good about getting the numbers from the town, but the schools are involved too, so we have to show decreases on this. So I told them to reach out to you, to get that information. Finance is working really hard. They're waiting on that, the numbers from the budget department heads, to get moving forward.
Mhm.
Capital planning, I see that you're coming forward, but they did want me to ask if you were still gonna go, with the same plan what we've been following. And currently, I'm the liaison for capital planning, but I'm very concerned that it gets moved forward quickly. So I'm wondering if either of my others, the other selectmen would like to start that immediately, because they are starting to meet up.
Yeah, but when are they meeting?
They're trying to get one, right at the beginning of the new year.
Is this capital planning, Teresa?
Yes,
I'm on that committee. I was assigned as a citizen and sworn in around June. John Barrett appointed me.
or do you want to be the liaison and give up that position? See, we can't have two liaisons. 'cause then
Well,
we
let's
have-
wait until they're not meeting till January, so we don't need to make that decision right now.
Okay, that's my report. We'll move on to elected boards.
Well, Vicky was here tonight. So we got her report. I haven't heard from the Board of Health. This is new to me too, so, you know, 2 weeks into the job here. I have not talked to, Roger or, for cemetery and parks or the facilities maintenance, highway department, land use coordinator, working on the, hiring, so we're gonna start interviews there. And MJTC, just part of what I do at MRPC too, because we get reports there. I don't have any updates, only the emails that have been coming about grant money.
Mhm.
I have not done anything with the schools.
Public safety,
Before I go into public safety, let me just mention under general government, because we're an appointed board, I'm the chair of the Affordable Housing Trust, and the trust needs an appointee from the Board of Selectmen. I would recommend, we don't have to do this today, but maybe our next agenda, that we appoint me as the Affordable Housing Trust Select Board member. And then I can resign as an appointed member by the board. And we would have an opening that we could post for.
why don't you handle that at the same time you handle capital planning?
Handle that at the same time. I'm sorry, say that again.
At the same time you handle capital planning.
Yeah, we could do that in January. That would be fine. The other thing for TAHT, since I'm on that committee, I just want to say that there was a rumor in town that there's some 40B going in up on Wallace Hill Road. There is not. There never was, and there is not. So I just want to make that clear to the residents of town that seem to think there's a 40B that is going on up there. We are doing a forestry cut on 2 of our properties, 60%, in order to keep the parcels that we have healthy during the time that they are not being built on or even planned to be built on. So just know that. As far as public safety goes, under the police, and this is something we need to see a warrant at one of our next meetings. Since our next meeting is going to be an ARPA work session, we need to see a warrant on the 17th. One item that needs to go on the warrant, this is a request by the police chief, is for the car lease. At town meeting, in order to balance the budget, $47,500 was removed from the lease, and he needs to renegotiate that by the end of December, I believe it is. He said that he can perhaps talk to them to extend until the end of January, since our special town meeting is January 28th, correct? But there needs to be a warrant article for that placed on the special town meeting warrant. So just to keep that in mind and to work on that. Another thing for police, has to do with the budget. I am assuming that reclassifying an employee could be an acceptable use. Use isn't the right word. Could be an acceptable thing to do if it fits within the budget of the department as far as salary goes. So no additional hours, no new employee, but a reclassification. So just something to think about on the budget memo. As far as fire goes, we have a mutual agreement here in Townsend with Ashby and Pepperell. And the fire and EMS have been covering and being able to provide adequate coverage for Ashby and Pepperell. So it's just something to keep track of and to recognize that this is happening in town. I think that's all I have for that.
Moving forward, announcements and communication. We'll start with, this was received by the town clerk November 26th, that I have submitted my resignation as a member of the Board of Selectmen effective December 31st, 2024. I want to make it very clear that this is due to the fact that as of the end of this month, I will no longer be a resident of Townsend. So I will no longer be able to serve. Also, I'd like to announce that Comcast, trying to read this whole thing. There's going to be a price adjustment with Comcast. They have enclosed the pricing updates in it. This is effective November 18th. You will receive a notice of these charges, which are bills starting November 20th. If you have any questions about these charges, they have a direct contact, which is Patrick_Shan, SHEARNS @Comcast.com. And as well as a list of these charges, new customers cannot sign up for several programs have been eliminated. Supermore, Triple Play, whatever. But I would suggest you also check on whether those are gonna remain in your current packages. And can we get this posted on the website?
Sure.
And we'll have that, up on the website, but it does provide you with all the information on the new packages and the increase in cost. And that's all I had for announcements. Does anybody else have any?
I do not.
Okay, I make a motion that we review, our next meeting will be a work session on December 12th at 11 a.m. And I make a motion that we review and sign payroll bills, warrants out of session.
Second, Veronica Cal, second.
Any discussion? Mark? Yes, yeah. And a roll call vote, sorry.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
And Teresa A. Morsha. We are going to now go 6.1 into executive session pursuant to General Law C 30-A S 21-A 2 to conduct strategy sessions in progression for negotiation with non-union personnel, specifically the treasurer / collector. We will adjourn out of executive session.
Second, Veronica Cal, second.
Roll call.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Teresa A. Morse, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.